Hello, welcome to my 11th tutorial. This one's a bit fun, so it's a little bit of a break from what I've been doing so quickly. It's about everybody wants a big mixer, don't they? So, you know, I've done two videos. One's a screenshot and the other one's a video just recording my launch control, and later on I'll try and figure out how I'm gonna actually make that work because I'm new to this. But you know, I've been doing this 11 years and I wanted a mixer to control everything, and everybody does, because it's fun, because you can, you know, use all your tracks and then you can just mix them with your you know, your faders and stuff. But the problem is there's Ableton and in the box, which is, you know, mixing with a computer. There's just no options, especially budget wise, for, you know, a control of all these tracks that we do. So quickly, let's go. It's the track I'm controlling now. It's just a, I don't know, I done it the other night. Here we go, just have a little listen. Okay, so you get the picture. Now I've got a camera on my mixer and I've got the screen recording the song. That song has nothing to do with this video, to be fair. It's just I'm hoping it's going to describe what we're doing, and what we're doing is hopefully showing you what I do. So picture in your mind you want a mixer that controls all the parameters. Well, sorry, not all the parameters, but the mixing parameters, the fader up and down, the pan left to right, reverb, returns, so on and so forth. And what I did was bought two launch control XLs. Why? Because I thought that'd be a good idea of controlling all the faders without having to use one XL and then just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling all the way along to get to where it was. So like I said, I don't know how I'm going to work this video, so I'm hopefully going to be able to edit it in post to show you both versions. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to explain this video on the screen recorder. With the camera I've got recording next to me, I'll be able to show you, hopefully, with cuts, which I've never done. So anyway, boring as fuck, yeah? So here we go. So just stop that, and we're in a, you know, I've just brought this track into session view. It's just the standard thing, a standard track that you do, you know. So a couple of things that I want to point out quickly. This track is in the key of G sharp. So everything I've done along this track, including loops and samples I've dragged in, I have keyed to the key of G sharp. And if you go to my older videos, you'll learn how to do that. But in a nutshell, the G sharp of this track is these keys for everything. If I drag in a sample that's A sharp, I'll drag it down 1, 2 semitones and it'll be G sharp. But if it's a snare and it's going, I'm thinking, okay, that's a high snare. It's got to stay in the key of G sharp. Or like, in fact, okay, say it's a snare and it's in C, yeah, and it's quite high. So I'm thinking, you know, I want to bring that down a few semitones to make it more like a or a yeah. So I'll find out what it is when I drag that sample over. It'll be saying C. Look in my older videos to figure out how to do that. So then I'll be like, okay, I want to bring that down. So then I'll just look at my G sharp scale to match the track. And I'll just go, ooh, A sharp will probably be quite nice for that snare. Let's just bring it down 1, 2 semitones. And that sample I've dragged in that was C is now A sharp, which is in the G minor scale, which will now match the track. That's the first thing I want to point out. This track is in G sharp. The second thing I want to point out is my launch controls are both plugged in next to each other. They're normally either side of my push, but for this video, because I'm recording on the camera, they're next to each other. To set them up, so you buy a launch control because you've watched this video or you've got one anyway, and you think, I want to control all the tracks with this on your mix down. So you plug it in and you're like, please, obviously, everything you plug in hardware wise, you've got to download the most up-to-date drivers, even if them up-to-date drivers are like Ableton, Novation, Launch Control 2, XL2. Download them because they're the newest ones that will work with your hardware. So let's just say I've bought 2 launch controls, XLs, which I have, they're next to each other, plugged in. I launch Ableton, and that's it. Just turn it on. They're plugged in. You've done the drivers. We then go. We then go to options and preferences, and there will be 2 launch controls for the control services. You find launch control, click it. Launch control, click it. First launch control, normally the first one, just XL. Second one on the output, XL. Normally the second one says 2, as it does there. Second one says 2. Boom, done. All the lights will change. They are now linked to Ableton. Hopefully that's what happens when you plug it in. But, this is videos just to show you what to do anyway. So then the MIDI ports, what do we click there? We go down the inputs, launch control 1. See the way it doesn't say 1, it says 10 launch. It's just to baffle you, that shit. MIDI in, 2, launch control, ignore. It's what you've plugged in with your USB. So launch control 1, track on, remote on, sync off. Okay, that's 1. Go to output, launch control, output. See the way it's confusing you with this shit 10 and that? Please ignore that. Just look for the first one. Again, track, remote. Go back up, input, launch control 2, track on, remote on. Oh, it's not there. See there, down the bottom, launch control 2, track on, remote off. Okay? Simple. Now, if you picture a fader, especially as MIDI, and you move it up, sometimes the track on Ableton will just jump to where your fader is. In fact, most of the time, the reason it's doing that is because this takeover mode will be on either none or value scale. And basically what that means is, if you picture you've got these launch controls now and you want to control your volume faders for each track on Ableton, obviously, let's just say you've got them set somewhere you like, and then you touch your launch control and they will just jump to your launch control because that's how it's set, and you don't want that. What you want is the launch control, you want to move it up to where it is now on Ableton on the track, and then your launch control takes over. So your launch control could be at the bottom, you move it all the way up to where Ableton's little arrow is, the little grey arrow, then launch control takes over, then you can move it slightly, like, minimal touches and stuff. The way you do that is takeover mode is pickup. Okay, boom, done. Now guys, quickly, I really want to touch on this. In my older videos, I was saying to you about doing your ideas and what grabs you and what you like and what you hear. And you're like, you pick a preset and you pick a kick and you pick a bass and you're like, I like them. And I'm like, that's why you load them, because you like them. You don't load them and then fuck around with them and they'd sound like shit. You pick them because you like them. And this whole track that's playing here, I haven't even mixed. Quickly look, there's a Spectrum tune on the kick, Serum, a kickstart, a sidechain, synth, 1 Serum, 3 Nexuses. Look what's on them, a sidechain, nothing, loop, nothing, EQ. Okay, so on and so forth. I don't want to bore you. So just listen to this quickly, about 2 seconds, and just hear how it sounds without any mixing. And the reason for that is because my finite selection of presets and stuff for the different parts of the frequency, and the different things that I need didn't really call for me to mix it much. But don't get me wrong, I'm still going to mix this track with all the different settings and stuff to make it gel better. But my point is, look how nice it sounds even without any mixing. So I'll show you that quickly, and then I'll show you the rest of the launch control, and that's it. So this is it, no mixing, the most minimum presets.
Check it out.
Okay, so you get the picture anyway. Now, moving on to the mixing stage. This yellow box or orange, whatever you see, is the 8 tracks that my launch control is controlling. Now, the first launch control, hopefully I'll be able to incorporate this video with this screen record. So in a nutshell, my first track focus, when I click track focus, goes onto the first track kick, yeah? My fader is a little bit down. See, if I move it down, it moves no grain on my screen. So the pickup scale is, I'll go up, 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 and then I'll pick it up. See it moving now? So I can slightly move that. Then the pan is to the left on my hardware. So when I move it to the middle, it then picks it up, and I can move that pan for the kick left and right. Now, I can go into the returns, but I haven't got the time. So hopefully this first return, see, all the way down to the bottom, picks it up. That could be, let's have a look over there. It says basement. I don't know what that means. It might be a reverb or something. Then I think 7B, if I bring it all the way down, picks it up, is the delay. So look, one control pad, track 1, track focus, and then we've got solo. We can solo it, we can arm it, okay, and that's all well and good. Move on to the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, and you're like, okay, that's fine, that's good. You want to control them 8, but it's annoying now to scroll to the side. So I thought in my head, you know what, wouldn't it be nice to have another launch control just to stop you messing about with one and have 16 channels, and then, you know, when you do open them up and stuff, then, you know, you've got a bit more space. So what I'm going to do now, hopefully this video will watch, it's down to it. These, when you load 2 launch controls up, they're both the same. They're both the same. So what I have figured out is this has 8 and this has 8. So if I move this 8 spaces to the right, I then am on 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so now watch. On my screen record, Nexus 12 is the last one, track focus on that. Now, track 1 focus on my right side on my other launch control, Nexus 13, loop bass. See it there? Then the next one, next one, next one, and again, move, that's actually got an automation on, but watch, when I move it up, it'll pick it up and then move it very nicely. Next track, focus, all the way to the top, picks it up, then we can move it. Same again, we can move the left to right pan, bring it all the way down for 7B, and then bring up that delay on that track. And then as you can see here, this is where the track ends. So it's really a nice way. I've got a full mixer now all the way along. to control my life. Do you know what I mean? And I've seen people who want to do that and are like, get this, buy that. I think these cost maybe now £100 each, maybe even cheaper. It's a great way of doing it. So thanks for listening.
Check it out.